Right, so we're recording.
I really look like a lumberjack.
No, you don't. What lumberjacks look cute as you?
Oh no, I look like a lumberjack, and I'm over.
And no one no lumberjack has the girls.
Yes, that is true.
Okay, so I think we are good.
But I'm sure if Monty Python had the idea, they would have probably stuffed their shirts. In that
Probably.
Little, yeah, and that's good.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So our topic of today is going to be the soundtrack, or like rather music and how they relate to storytelling through movies, right? So here we go. Dun, 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 dun. And I have my little laptop here for oh, my hair looks great.
You always look great.
Oh, thank you.
And then you do this thing when you do this little thing that and then you do that.
Oh yeah,
my hair. When you part your hair.
My hair. So important.
Just to get the one loose little strand that sort of.
Exactly. We will get you in cosplay on one of these episodes, one of these times, Joanne.
Okay.
So hello everybody, and welcome to the latest and greatest episode of Topical Illusions, discussions in tangent or tangential discussions, whichever.
Yes.
Joanne, do you want to let everyone? Actually, I'm going to call you by your code name, Tiny Afrodite.
So today we're focusing on movies and TV shows, and then the music that gives resonance to them, and then has resonance in us. And there are a lot of things that we still listen to or be moved by, even when we see it out of context of the film.
Yes, exactly. So if you think about, so I tell you guys all the time, I'm like a baby of the 80s. And so there's the movies that were made at that time, there were soundtracks or theme songs that are associated with them. So what we really want to talk about is like how important music and sound design is to storytelling, right? And movies. Can you just imagine what your favorite movie would sound like if it just had no background music?
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Or like no crescendo, or like even like the theme songs to like shows, you can just identify them. That'd be a fun game to play.
Yes, it would. That would.
Like do the theme song and like guess the theme
I wonder
song.
If that's part of Trivial Pursuit.
I feel like it might be.
Yeah, there was something where they.
Yeah, I love. So Kevin has this. We were looking back in like old storage stuff that he had. He has this old trivia set of Star Wars. Oh. It's like a little bookmark set, and we want to have a little thing where like we have everybody and like
that would be
and
fun.
Like play Star Wars trivia. And I'm like, some of those things I don't really. I'm not that great with trivia when it comes to stuff. I did. Are you good with trivia? Like
depends on what it is.
Okay.
So depending on the topic.
I feel like you'd be really good.
The music would be okay. I think films would be. It's usually that really kind of arcane. Who really gives a shit kind of content? Yeah. But okay, so and so has 3 toes. And they're a celebrity. That would be the weird stuff that I know.
So before we planned this show out, we tried to make sure that we do a lot of tangents and like right turns. Thank you for the likes. Hello, welcome to the show, guys.
And I'm like, I just see stuff scrolling up. I can't see what it is.
Thanks for the likes. Hello. So this is Tiny Afrodite. I'm Kara Zor-El, last daughter of Krypton. The reason why I'm Kara today is because I was doing a lot of deep diving into Kryptonian mythology. Okay. So Nightwing, Dick Grayson's Nightwing actually comes from Krypton, like the old gods there. And I found out as well, how much we love Venus, like Aphrodite, right? It's right in the name. So Kara in Kryptonian mythology is actually the goddess of love and beauty, which is then equivalent to, what do you think? Venus. So, and Kara was then Supergirl named after that goddess.
Interesting.
Yeah. So some cool Kryptonian, like fun facts for you guys to know about all of that. I'm doing some mapping out of equivalencies of the Kryptonian zodiac and our zodiac.
So where would you find the Kryptonian zodiac?
They have it. Like this is DC, like they have like all of these appendices. If you really go hunting,
that's the kind of stuff that I would want to.
Oh well, then we can go there.
That's where I would deep dive. And it would be like at 2:00 in the morning, and then I would deep dive.
So this is like figuring out the multiverse, you guys. Yeah. So like if you guys give me gifts, as I said there, like gifts go towards saving the multiverse. That's that's what we're all about.
I have a request. Somebody last week said I looked familiar, and it was a little purple, looked like a Spider-Man face, but I'm old and blind and I can't see. Where do you think I'm from, or how am I familiar is what I want to know.
I don't know if he's there though. Yeah, do you remember the name?
No.
I can't see.
I can't see.
Okay, so let's go back to the original topic. So the topic that we're talking about today, let me just double check my other recording. Just say thank you for the likes. Hey Erin. Hello, welcome.
So I'll lean up so I can see
it here.
more.
Likes. Max.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just see like the live, and it's like, why would they make everything gray? I see a Vicky Taylor.
Okay.
And I see a Keith.
Oh yeah, good. Call out our viewers. That's always good. That's always good. Hello everybody. Welcome to our weekly talk show. So we talk about topical illusions is mainly because we're living in a shared hallucination. If you think about it, we're a shared dreaming state, right?
I love that one.
Yeah, a shared dreaming state. And so Maya, illusion, this concept of people like to call it a simulation. I'm like, not quite. Like there is levels of like unreality, I think, in it, but I'm not gonna get. That's not
the simulation for me would be the deja vu moments.
For me, deja vu is like, oh, I either dreamed this or I've already done this already.
Yes, but I still feel it's like an akin to a simulation because you can't quite touch it, and it sort of feels like because you've done it before. It's almost like a simulation is like that, right? Where you've done these acts, but it's not quite you. And I feel like the deja vu kind of touches on that.
I feel like deja vu is just okay, let's not go off topic. Deja vu is that's a whole other thing we can talk about.
There is a Dionne Warwick song called Deja Vu.
Yes. Fun facts,
Yes.
Joanne facts.
So we have a musical tie-in. So there we go.
So I'm just gonna put this down here because it's in the way for me, and I don't want my hair to be brushing against the mic in the recording because it'll drive me nuts when I edit that later. Okay. So, okay, so today's topic are the concept of music as storytelling, songs as story, and having the concept of music and vibration and sound being a part of movie making. Because as we said, like if I even think of like The Lion King, so bringing it back, the very first movie I ever saw in theaters, and I like healed a lot of stuff with my dad, right? And so he told me the story, right, of how like I saw the Little Mermaid commercial on TV,
yes,
and it was this beautiful commercial, just like. It didn't show too much. I have to find the right commercial, but it was just like the way that they had the water and the way that she like, I don't know, like something about it. I was like, oh my gosh. And then so it was like only in theaters. So like my dad's like, yeah. So you came up to me and was just like, Daddy, there's this movie, but it's only in theaters. And he's like, and then you said, what's a theater, Daddy?
Oh, that's so cute. That's adorable.
And then he's like, do you want to go see? And so I just have this like very big vision of like seeing The Little Mermaid on the big screen and the music, right? And she had this song called Part of Your World.
Yes.
And just this concept of...
Now it's in my head.
I know. Or like Kiss the Girl, Sebastian the Crab. And just like her having these friends. I was like, I don't know, something with Ariel. And for a long time growing up, I wanted red hair.
Okay.
And so that's why, like, even the girls that I cosplay as, right? Jean Grey, oh my gosh, April O'Neil, Batgirl, they're all redheads. And so I just, like...
There's no Anne of Green Gables in there?
No. Actually, sorry. Anne of Green Gables is your thing. That's a very Canadiana thing, though, too, right? But it's just like that. So because of that, like, all that Disney suite of stories, so who is it? That Pocahontas... The Little Mermaid, Aladdin, there's like I had all of the movies like when Disney came out, but for all of those movies, they made songs specifically for those movies, right? So I had the soundtracks for each one of them as well. So because like I would just listen to the songs on repeat and like Under the Sea by like little, you know, like just like they were just like, and Lion King, I just can't wait to be king.
Or for me, it's Aladdin.
Oh yeah, Aladdin,
and then it's right
stuff.
Even the intro was Arabian Nights. But it's all it's even how it, because you're feeling the music makes you feel the camel
and the magic carpet ride. And oh my gosh, what was that song called again? Oh my gosh.
Oh, hold on.
Someone help us. Someone help. What's the song in Aladdin? I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess,
I'm not gonna
did you dance that a whole
new world? That's it.
There it is. Yeah.
Yes,
but I love those songs, right? It's so like a whole new world, and like just I know that, and of course like your Prince. And all of that. We can talk about like the Disney princess thing. But like for me though, I just like love this whole concept of like it's a fairy tale.
Yes.
And you're telling it through song as well. And the song is there to help enhance the story that's going on. So
yes.
How about you, Joanne? What was your first, like in terms of like music and movies, what is the first thing that kind of comes to mind to you?
I'll always be moved whenever I hear the Star Trek music. Not Star Trek. Star Trek
Wars.
is one, but Star Wars.
Star
So
Wars. Star Wars.
So
Yes, we like because like you know like when you go watch Star Wars and like you know that first moment.
Yes.
And then like
everything
a long time ago.
Yes, and you saw the words. And when I first saw that,
yeah.
I remember being in the theater and seeing the words, and I just
epic.
It was epic, but I felt so small.
Oh yeah.
Like I felt tiny, and it was like
John Williams. Yeah, someone called it. Yeah.
Yes, and then it was just like this, and it was just so. I was so small, and all of a sudden, I just discovered that the world was so vast, and there was another place out there, and anything could happen.
Universe.
That could be different. So the John Williams music for Star Wars is always very, very impactful. Like I told you before, I don't understand why I have every guy's like I don't like Star Wars, and it's like, but.
How do you not love Star Wars?
I don't know how they don't like Star Wars. It should be a big sign.
Which was the first movie from Star Wars that you watched? Did you watch A New Hope first?
Yes, I saw 4, 5, 6.
Did you see A New Hope in theaters?
Yes.
Oh my
yes,
gosh,
I saw it in theaters. I want to say
what an epic like memory. That must have been like because like I just think of like as a kid when you like see you're in the theater. The theater's we're in a theater right now.
Yes.
Right, and so there's just something. Magical. The lights go down and like it just like I even love like the trailers.
I love trailers.
I love the trailers. I love the trailers.
I also love credits. So my dad was a projectionist when he was like a late teens, early 20s.
Really?
Yes, back in Grenada. And so he would always tell my mom that the credits were the one part in a film where all the people who worked on the film get thanks, right?
Yeah,
you don't know. You see everything that they do,
set designer,
but you don't. But that's the only moment. So for me, I also out of his memory, but also out of respect for all the people who create, I watch the credits to
and sometimes there's juicy stuff at the end of the credits afterwards.
So that's how I discovered about because I went for the first time when my half sister first came to visit me. We went and we saw the Avengers because it was first in theaters.
And the first Avengers movie.
The first, yes.
Oh, that movie. Oh.
At Scotiabank.
And
I was
amazing.
And I told her, well, Dad used to be a projectionist, and so I watched all the credits. So we stayed, and then we saw the Easter eggs, and everybody else had already gone.
That's so cool.
Yes.
Yes. Legit. That was. I think you're getting some love there. Ooh, yeah. Okay, so
I see the ooh.
Joanne's like full of chock full of knowledge. So can you just spit off other movies that John Williams has composed?
Oh well, he also did Harry Potter.
Because there's connections, right? Because that's like the whole 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, but not 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon.
So he did Harry Potter. He did the Superman.
That's the themes. Okay,
I can't remember
the theme song to Superman.
I don't think he did Jaws.
Oh,
but Jaws has impactful music. I don't think he did do Jaws. He's done a few others as well. Did he do?
The other composer I like is Hans Zimmer. Hans Zimmer did Lion King and Dune.
Which Dune?
The most recent one.
Okay, whereas I'm Dino De Laurentiis.
I'm not quite sure if
I'm Sting Dune.
Sting Dune.
Yes, I'm Sting Dune.
Have you guys seen? Oh, I love the original Dune. So that Leto, that Duke Leto in the original Dune. I don't know who the actor is. Do you know?
No, can't remember. No,
but
I watched it for Sting.
Love him. I don't know why. Like that Leto, I'm like, oh. I don't know why, but I don't know. He's just.
Whereas for me, it was like realizing that. Patrick Stewart is Guernsey Halleck. I think it was Guernsey Halleck, and then he became Captain.
Oh, I love Patrick Stewart.
Yes,
he's who is he? He's Jeff Brolin in the new Dune, I think.
Jeff Brolin plays Guernsey.
Guernsey, yeah.
I could never. I do those things with words where I see a word if I don't pronounce it right.
Who plays Duncan Idaho in the first one?
Oh. I can't remember.
Because he's really important. Duncan Idaho is really important in the books. And I know like Jason Momoa plays him in the new Dune. Right? And actually Jason Momoa is not a bad Duncan Idaho.
No.
He's not bad. But like that whole scene where he like dies and stuff. And if you guys are not familiar with Dune, Duncan Idaho gets brought back multiple times as like Ebola. And
what was that thing called? He's not a golem, but he had
Gola. I think it's Gola.
Is it Gola?
Yeah, it's like the people of Ix. They like make clones.
Yes.
And
he comes back many times.
I think they retain their memory. I'm not sure if they retain their memories or if they can.
Or they're not supposed to, but he does, because I think in like one of the other books he then becomes the protector of the sister.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And then there's something along the lines, like if you go like way forward in Dune, I hope this isn't spoiling anything for you. I don't think the movies are going to go there with this, but so
sorry. I'm just like, I'm never going to give my life to those books ever again.
Okay, well,
It's like, I did it once. I've never.
okay, so
never,
did you watch the Dune
Miniseries?
early 2000 miniseries with what's his face, Professor X guy, James McAvoy?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
so I haven't
really good. I actually really like it.
I heard wonderful things about it, but I have not
it's
seen
actually
it.
the CGI is awful, but it's actually really good.
Well, the
I
CGI
don't really.
was bad in the first one too.
Paul in it kind of looks like
Who played Paul?
some guy who kind of looks like he belongs in a boy band.
Okay.
He's got like spiky hair.
And
I'm like, what the heck? I'm like,
I
this
think
is like
Paul-
early
but I think Paul is
2000s.
supposed to be
frosted tips.
Really?
Oh, no, I'll find it.
I guess
You just find
it's
it.
the sun in the desert.
Yeah.
That's given
So
him-
so Paul and Chani,
Mm-hmm.
right? They have twins, Ganima. And Ganima, if you think of Ganymede,
Yes.
a moon. I forget what moon of what planet that is. There's something there too as well. We need to like put a little bookmark in that. But Ganymede and Leto the second, right? So Leto, named after Duke Leto.
Yes.
So this Leto, they kind of touch on this in the movie, right? Where Paul has a dream and he sees the future, right? And then he realizes there's this golden path and it's super tough. And he's like, I don't really want to do it. That's why he goes off into the desert and is like, F this.
Yes.
Especially after Chani dies. So when Leto sees that path, but he's like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to become a big, huge sandworm.
Yes.
And become a big tyrant.
Yes, I forgot about the big
Yeah, so
sandworm.
he so that's the whole thing, right? But the miniseries gets to the point where he realizes that's the path. It doesn't
Yes.
get to the point where he
He
becomes
does
the
the
big
thing,
thing.
yes.
But getting back to Duncan, Idaho, the reason why Leto does this is because he's seeing the long game. In order for humans to evolve to a point of no longer being trapped by prescience, right? Because if you remember the first Dune movie where Paul gets that assassin, there's a little bug that comes in and he kills it. So that's actually mechanical.
Yes.
Right? So that mechanical bug thing eventually evolves to be something that has sentience.
Okay.
So this bit ends up hunting humans.
Yes.
So think about what
Yes.
and there was that old war with the Butlerian jihad, so they got rid of tech, but tech still exists underground.
Yes.
So this little hunter thingy evolves, and so Leto sees this, and so the only way out of it is to push humans to such a point that they will need to evolve to
be able to
beat that, right? And
to
be
be
free
able
of
to be a master of it.
yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah, so because they need to, so regardless, I have to revisit it to tell it properly, but long story short, Ganima's ancestor, or not ancestors, descendants, and Duncan Idaho's descendants, they make a being that is not detectable by prescience or being able to, you see visions of the future and you can't see them. So that causes humans to then be free of
probing.
being able to tell the future, being
Yes.
programmed in the future. So there's something there about that in terms of playing the long game.
Yes.
Right, of what seems crazy right now, or it seems tyrannical right now,
Yes.
is just all part of a cycle of being
Yes.
able to come back around to something. But let's see here if there's questions. Kyle McLaughlin. Oh yeah, I remember.
Yes, yes.
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 You know what? David Lynch loves that guy.
Yes, he does. Yeah, because he was
David Lynch
also
loves that guy.
Blue Velvet, Twin Peaks.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
yes.
he was in Sex and the City.
I don't like Sex and the City, so I never watched it.
Oh, you never watched Sex and
No.
the City? Okay, yeah. All right, going back to TV shows.
I never watched Working Moms either. There was that same sort
I
of
never
thing.
watched Working Moms either.
There was a whole thing if you're in this big, wonderful, cosmopolitan city, where are your friends that are diverse? I'm sorry. My friends. I have everybody in my circle of friends, and I'm watching this, and I'm like, you're in New York.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
And so it didn't feel familiar, or even though I could probably recognize the characters, but for something that was supposed to be so modern and so now, I was like, this doesn't represent. If it was Sex and the City from 1975, I would be like, fine. Of course, you're not going to have any black friends or Chinese friends or whatever. But at the time that it was being presented,
That's a great point.
It was
That's a great point.
It didn't. It's like New York.
It's New York, and you would have
You should.
Naomi Campbell. I don't know.
You should.
Model
Somebody
who's, you're friends
you
with.
would have.
Who's yeah, that's a great point.
Yes, and Working Moms was the same. And I was just like, yeah, I don't. Even though I forgive friends for that. I don't necessarily. I'm aware of it, and I'm doing the visible minority watch, but it doesn't bug me as much as it does with the other ones. Even though Friends has their little thingies with Ross, because Ross I think is the only one who actually dated outside of his race.
That's true.
Yes. Maybe Joey did.
I think there might have maybe,
yes, but I'm pretty sure that it was only Ross.
Did you know that Monica dated the guy from Highlander, the TV show, Richie?
Oh, no.
That was one of
Oh.
I paid attention to that because I had a big crush on Richie.
Okay.
I always so that was like for me in terms of crushes, like Duncan MacLeod. Like I never liked like the main guy. I was like Robin. I'm like
yes.
I love the
The
sidekick. I don't know
apprentice.
why.
The apprentice.
For some strange reason. Maybe it's the youthfulness of it.
Possibly, or the fact that they're not bound by the same kind of rules or constraints that the big guy would be.
I got the main thing.
Okay. Oh. Look at Marlon Brando wearing his Rolex watch.
Oh my god.
See, but you can hear it.
Oh, I love it. And this one I used to have like orchestras to make
Yes.
the epicness of it.
Yes, but we still have concerts like the TSO will do those things where they play them. You can go and you can hang the soundtracks.
True that.
Oh.
I'm waiting for the.
There we go.
Oh my gosh, I should recreate this.
You should.
I should, because now that I have like movie magic to make it. Okay, so John Williams did Superman.
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Yeah. So
yes.
and also did Star Wars, right? And
yes.
also did
Harry Potter.
But
I can't remember. You were supposed to check this if you did.
Oh yeah,
Jaws.
that's right.
I don't know if
what was the one that we were missing? The one that we didn't know?
Is it Jaws?
Jaws, yes.
Or did he do Close Encounters?
Ooh. Close Encounters was a good movie, actually. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Who composed?
You're
Jaws?
so funny. I would just go John Williams, and I would look up his.
Come on, John's my.
No. I know, not that. No, I just think it's really interesting how we have different approaches to find information.
Why is it just giving me?
Which is what
it's giving me. Yeah, it's giving me. I think it's.
If you just look
up
like
a John Williams.
Yeah, and they should give you his body of work.
Body of work, or early career, rise to prominence.
What was this? Hold on, go back up.
How come it doesn't
Oh no, How to Steal wouldn't know.
That he did.
There has to be like a discography. Star Wars and other franchises.
Yeah, it's just giving me his whole bio. Conductor. Oh, that's cool.
Concert works.
Oh my gosh, no, I don't. I love you, John Williams. I don't need your whole bio right now. Let's look at the. Well, no.
But Peter Benchley. So Peter Benchley wrote Jaws.
Okay. Oh, look at you, Philip. So Jaws soundtrack. Let's see here.
Yeah, John Williams.
Okay, it is John Williams.
Where is it? Go back up. It's higher up. John Williams.
There it is. Yes.
So he may have done Close Encounters as well, but John Williams has done a lot of the music for us that.
But it looks like he's a composer. Like he's an actual. Sorry.
Yes. There's a. Is it John Williams? Check. John Williams is related somehow to somebody from Toto. Yeah, from yes, I can't remember if it's his son or something, but related. John, yes, but somebody from Toto is related to John Williams. I want to say it's his son, but this is like me pulling out some weird thing like pop-up video information. But Africa.
Joseph Williams?
Maybe.
Toto, sorry. I spelled it wrong. Or Toto. I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. He's the son of composer John Williams and actress-singer Barbara Ruick.
Oh, nobody knows.
And grandson of jazz drummer Johnny Williams. So they're like a musical family.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
But then if you think about Africa, which is the best Toto.
Oh my gosh, I love that song.
It didn't need the woos. It just did not. It was perfect on its own, and even the video for it is very much in keeping with the movies that his dad scores.
Yeah,
right.
True
I think John Williams also did Raiders of the Lost Ark. Possibly, I think he also did Raiders.
I love that.
And that's Steven Spielberg.
Yes. So like that relationship was seen between the composers and like the directors, right?
Yes.
So they probably do have like when you're making a film, you probably have like soundtrack to your head.
Which means
soundtrack
he probably
to your life.
did Jurassic Park.
I think so. I think that's what I saw too.
Yeah, I think he did Jurassic Park.
I don't really remember the music.
I think what happens is it's not as impactful, but as soon as you hear it, you know it's Jurassic Park.
Yes, you do. It's one of those things, right? So let's see if I have some comments. Was using a bunch of stuff. Staple of a major movie for a while. Let clout to have him. Yes. Have him project. So he had. Yeah, exactly. Raza agreed.
Like clout. Oh, sorry.
He's basically saying that like.
What did Brando? Oh, Brando hated something.
Oh, Brando's funny.
Brando's always funny. Hated being. Yes, he didn't.
He completely almost railroaded the scenes. Yeah. Why was that? Why was Marlon Brando like that?
Because it was a superhero film, and that's not necessarily. He had done things like Streetcar Named Desire. He had been the Godfather. So he's doing it for a buck, but he's letting it know that it's still beneath him, and it's not quite fair. Because then before he passed away, he did that film with Sarah Jessica Parker's husband. I'm pretty sure, and he plays like a Godfather type person who just wants to not do the work anymore. Oh,
wasn't he also in that weird movie where he like they experimented on creatures on the island of
Dr. Moreau?
Yeah,
and then he was also.
Was he in that? He was in that, right?
I think so. And then
he was all like weird. And
he was also in Last Tango in Paris, which was also quite controversial as well.
Yeah, that's like there's apparently a lot of like weird stuff about like the furries and like what happened.
But all that time, there's a lot of other licenses that's going on, right? Yeah.
Okay, so hello everyone. If you're just joining, welcome to our episode of Topical Illusions. We're talking about how sounds, music play a part in storytelling, specifically movies, but I'm gonna like have us shift a little bit now to like TV shows, right? Because you think of like theme songs, and like how much that is part of like how you like identify a show. Like even if you think of things like X-Files, as soon as you hear like the X-Files song, like I should choose them up, or even like
Star Trek.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a theremin.
Space 1999.
Yes. Addams Family, all versions, right? They all go da 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 da.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
So, and that's one that it doesn't. It's generational now, right? Every generation.
You just know.
You just recognize it.
Know.
The Flintstones. Everybody knows how to sing the. Well, I think younger generations up to a point because
also
they have
like Highlander used a lot of Queen.
Yes.
They always use a lot of Queen. So their themes are, here we are, born to be kings. We're the princes of the universe.
And then Marvel would have taken that, going back to movies, right? Because Thor Ragnarok and the use of Led Zeppelin is just epic, right? Like, you know, and you're just watching it, it's like, that's all Viking, and it's a Viking piece, and it's just like, and you automatically
now
recognize
that you mention it. Like, Led Zeppelin does feel like it.
Yes, and I think the song is Viking based. Like there's references to so it's but those are those kind of songs that do that. So Highlander has Queen, and it's about that. Here, did Queen do Flash Gordon?
I don't know. Let me pull up Queen.
Or somebody did.
Freddie Mercury. So
everybody loves.
I love Freddie, and so Under Pressure. That song you did with Bowie.
Yes.
I have to dance to, and
that was one of the first songs I downloaded on my iPod Touch when I got it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I love Under Pressure.
Guys,
like, I'm gonna go find, like, okay, let's pull up YouTube. I'm gonna look up the Highlander theme song because it's every. Here we are, and I'm not.
And then Flash Gordon. But I don't think anybody really remembers Flash Gordon, but it was like a thing, and it was after.
Flash Gordon looks like just like the Flash. But he's not.
Really? I think for me it was... No, because it was sort of set in the future, but it was... I think they were trying to make money off of
I can't believe they're making Henry Cavill do Highlander.
Ew.
I know. Like, Nursa, my sister, gets really upset. She's like, why is Henry Cavill doing all the things I love? Superman, Highlander, The Witcher, Highlander TV.
Now, is The Witcher...
It's based on a video game.
Okay, so it's
on Netflix.
Okay.
And he's it's a video game. It's a show based on a video game.
Because I was thinking maybe it was based on Anne Rice, because I think she has some book about witches.
It is based on folklore.
Okay.
Like European folklore, but like not.
All right, but nothing created that was current.
No.
Okay.
How come? There it is. Princes of the Universe. Why are you not connected to the internet? Are you just dropping on me?
Maybe. But then does that mean that dropped too?
I hope not. You guys still hear us, see us though, so it's just no internet. Connected. It's telling me it's connected.
That's strange. Maybe it's a site?
Oh no, it's okay. Okay. Yeah, it's just taking time.
Okay.
Tech has been really strange lately for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Here it is. Thanks for your patience, guys. Now that we can watch it together.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. I remember this theory. So Highlander, me and my friend Laura used to have sleepovers and watch Highlander.
My friend Margaret used to watch Highlander.
Yeah, and
But
so
she
this
loved
is,
it.
Yeah, because I don't know. And Richie, I had a big crush on him because, as I said, I had a thing for redheads for a long time. I don't know why.
I just remember seeing the movie, or part of the movie, and seeing the whatever it was, the guy who was coming to cut off Sean Connery's head, and then Sean Connery has told Highlander's wife to hide. This stupid girl still comes to watch, and I'm like, really?
Because she's got to die.
I know she's gonna die, but
To
it's like,
serve the plot.
but it's like you would think that you wouldn't be stupid.
Some good, some evil. For centuries he has battled the forces of darkness. With holy ground his only refuge. He cannot die unless you take his head and his power.
Yes.
There can be
And then it cues the song.
He is Duncan MacLeod. Highlander.
Look at those eyebrows.
I know. My friend Laura had a big crush on him.
So you checked
and
this
I
out
was
for
like,
Tina.
nah. But like, where are you? Richie. Well, not him.
He's got really nice eyebrows.
He's
I
cute
gotta
though.
say.
He's cute. I like looking back. I'm like, he was cute. Him. I had a big crush on him.
Okay.
So he was in Friends.
So did you like Christian Slater?
I did.
Yeah.
I had a big crush on Christian Slater.
I could totally see that. Yeah.
I used to have weird recurring dreams of Christian Slater.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. And then like I can't remember the context of any of them except for the fact that for like months when I was about 16, I had just recurring dreams of like Christian Slater.
I have shitty dreams. My dreams are always
What
like
do you mean?
they're nightmares. They're not comfortable. They're always
What?
they're on different timelines. There's never any, I don't have happy. I would like to have a happy dream.
I can't tell you if the dreams were good.
Yeah.
They were just, I would tell my friends about them. There was a big thing, like, me and my friends used to just share our dreams and
Yeah.
stuff. And so, like, at restarts, you're like, oh, I dreamt about this, blah, blah. And then, so, as I said, multiple, hey, Louie, hello, welcome. Let's see here. Adrian Paul, yes, pump up the volume. Was awesome for Slater.
Honestly. Oh, Christian Slater?
Oh, yes, pump, yes. And also, I know Christian Slater from Archer. You know the TV show Archer?
I didn't watch it.
Animated?
No.
No,
didn't
it
watch
was
Under a Rock.
Okay, well, Archer, Christian Slater plays himself as a cartoon character.
Okay.
I don't know why, but also like I'm Christian Slater in like Interview with the Vampire.
That was a really good role. Like he was perfect for that role.
Yeah, and he's also
Tom Cruise was not.
Really.
I didn't like Tom.
You didn't like him as Lestat.
No. You know what I wanted for Lestat? I wanted Sting. I think Sting
You
would have
wanted
made it. Sting would have made
Sting
it.
for Lestat.
He would have been an excellent Lestat. He just was naturally arrogant. He had the hair, the cheekbones. He looks like a wolf killer. I looked at Tom Cruise.
That's
and I
a
was,
good casting choice.
Yeah,
I
Tom
didn't even
Cruise.
think about that.
Tom Cruise looked like Tom Cruise with fangs.
How do you feel about Brad Pitt?
I like Brad Pitt.
I liked it.
And I also
Antonio Banderas. was
Yes,
in that too.
yes. I agree with all of it, but it was Tom Cruise that was just like I was very.
Is there music in that? Let's see.
There is, but I don't think it was
Anything like
No,
iconic at
no.
all. Like, let me think. Vampire movies. As I said, Buffy the Vampire Slayer was a big. I loved Buffy, and I wanted to bring this connection to you guys that like Space 1999, which also has a theme song that was composed specifically for it. You can see a lot in Space 1999. How much 2001: A Space Odyssey
Yes.
Influenced it.
Okay.
And 2001: A Space Odyssey, of course, used a lot of classical music
Yes,
to
and
like talk about space or like.
Does it use Thus Spoke Zarathustra? I can never pronounce it. And then we also have the timpanis at the beginning. Dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun.
Oh yeah.
I think it's Thus Spoke.
Yeah, so there's
Zarathustra.
that, and I find that like science fiction of the 70s used a lot of classical music
Yes.
to show, I guess, maybe like the vastness of space.
I think
or
so,
to
but I think
show,
at the
like-
turn of the century there was also moments in classical music where it was sort of futuristic, where we're sort of thinking about kingdoms.
Okay, yeah. that's
But
what
I think not 100%, but I keep thinking that I've read that where it was that idea of the vastness of kingdoms and then there's also even for in the past there's always that element of God, right? You're thinking about what God has created. Beethoven is the
creator
God base.
view, yeah.
Vivaldi is God
Yeah.
based, where we're looking at the seasons. There's that
and bringing it back to Stanley Kubrick, who of course like did 2001: A Space Odyssey. I actually saw the Stanley Kubrick exhibition here in Toronto when it was at TIFF.
Yes.
So these photos from like Eyes Wide Shut, as well as Lolita, and what else did he do? That one war movie that no one saw and it was boring. But if
Dr. Strangelove?
no, Spartacus, not Spartacus.
No.
There was a movie. Anyways, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about A Clockwork Orange and the Beethoven Symphony.
Yes.
Right, and how much that affects it. So like
Because he would get high on the music, right? Remember, he would take whatever it was that he was taking. He would drink his local. He would play his music, and then he would become so frenzied. He would then do whatever.
And so when then they did that, who's the actor who played in Clockwork Orange?
Malcolm
McDougall.
No. Malcolm McDowell.
Dowell, yes, thank you. So he was also Caligula. In the
The
movie.
porn Caligula?
I don't know. It's like a really controversial movie.
There's a porn Caligula. That's Penthouse. I think that's Bob Guccione.
Is it? I have
No,
no idea.
not
But
Bob
anyways, Caligula is like
Penthouse is not Bob Guccione.
crazy movie, but he's like the same guy.
Yes,
It's
yes.
the same actor.
And what's her name is in it too? Oh my God.
In Caligula?
Yes,
Caligula. I
British
never watched
actress.
it. I never watched
Oh my
Caligula, you
goodness.
guys, so.
Helen Mirren, I think, is in Caligula. as well.
Really?
Yes.
I think Helen Mirren is beautiful for
She's
some
wonderful.
strange reason.
Did
I don't
you-
know. I think that she's a gorgeous kind
Did you see that film that came out a few years ago where she was with I always forget that actor who plays Magneto.
Yeah.
Yes, right?
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
he thinks he's going to con her.
Yeah.
And she does that
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
elaborate. That was excellent. Yes, but yes.
Oh, she's a babe. I don't know. I
Yes,
find
right,
her
but I
like, she's
believe-
like
And
I don't
she's
know.
also the cook, the thief, the something and her lover.
Oh.
Yeah, it was early '80s, and that was like it was like an affair, but there was some.
Yeah. So I remember from the movie Red with Bruce Willis. Yeah, it's like they're old spies. Anyways, I
So
think
when you said Red, I thought Warren Beatty.
really.
Yeah, because I think he has a movie called, but I think it's Reds.
Reds. No, but this is Red with like, and poor Bruce Willis. I feel sad for Bruce Willis because, as you guys saw, like I did the Fifth Element cosplay, and there's a beautiful song in there as well. Speaking of music and composing, it's like the Blue Opera singer.
Yes.
She has this like
Yes, the
song
diva.
like that, the diva, and like the stones are in her.
Yes.
And it's just like get the stones out and. But like that song, I was like telling Kevin, like you need to like. I need to make a song to like or dance to that song.
Yes.
Because I also grew up at a time when like dance movies were a thing.
Yes.
So Step Up with Channing Tatum and Jenna Dewan, and like I was just like, oh, like it's or what was that other one? The cheerleading movie.
Oh.
With Kirsten Dunst was in it.
No.
Oh my gosh, Bring It On.
Okay,
Bring It On. Yeah, I know. But like, this was like my time, like growing up.
Yeah.
So like, Bring It On. Yes, Bring It On, and then Drumline. There were all these movies that were like, we're dance movies, and so me and my friends like ate them.
And I'm like,
Yeah,
you can see my face. It's
and
like
I'm
crickets.
what are you talking about?
For me, a dance movie is like Fame.
Fame's a good movie though. I
And
love
the
Fame.
TV show.
Well, I mean, also there's the concept of like I grew up in musical theater, right? So my high school, I was really blessed that they had a beautiful stage, like no different, like it was like a classic stage.
Yes, it was like a proper stage.
And like red velvet, and it was just like a beautiful.
And probably a larger
auditorium.
size.
Yeah, and like a balcony and everything. So when I did drama, my final year, you had to put together like a show.
Yes.
So me and my best friend did Cats.
Oh.
Right, so we did McCavity.
Yes.
I just had like a little mic and a little costume, and so. But as part of the program, you had to do a piece of other people's productions.
Okay.
So, for example, we did lights for another person's production, so other people would have do lights for us.
Okay.
And other people did let's say the help with set design, or other people would so it's just you got to learn all parts of putting on a show that wasn't just performing, right? So it gave you costuming and all this other kind of stuff involved in it. So when it comes to putting together a stage show, before I saw you, I was actually watching Phantom of the Opera.
Okay.
But not Phantom of the Opera the movie, which with who is in it again?
I wouldn't know. I've never seen it. Nope.
Kevin loved Phantom of the Opera.
I never saw it. My friends saw it. And also when it was at the
It was here though. Like I think Toronto
Yeah,
actually
it was
had
at
like
the,
the
it was at the
live.
It would have been the Pantages. So I think it was one of the first things that was showcased at the Pantages once it was restored from the Imperial Six, because it was a movie theater for the longest time, and then it became the Pantages, and that was Garth Drabinsky, and I believe it was Phantom of the Opera that was on. For
Oh my gosh, who
and
is
Les
the guy?
Mis was down the street at the Elgin.
Okay. So was it Gerard Butler who was in it? No. Oh my gosh. Who's the other guy? Okay, Russell Crowe was in Les Miserables. And who did I just say? The other guy.
Gerard Butler.
Gerard Butler was in Phantom. And neither of those guys can sing. And you're in roles that you should have some singing chops. And so I can't stand musical movies because it's meant to be on stage. I would prefer if they just film the stage show and then like Cats.
Yes.
The movie
Yes.
is nightmare fuel versus if you were to take the stage show and just film
Yes.
it and then that's what I used
Which
to
is what PBS would do, right? You would see Masterpiece
Yeah,
Theater, and you would say, because you can't replace Betty Buckley singing, right? Like her listening to her voice go midnight, not a sound from the pavement. But when you hear that, you're just like, which is another piece of music that everybody's moved by. As soon as you hear it, and you hear the da da da, da, and you can sort of see the autumn leaves falling through the sky to just land on the pavement.
Yeah,
Sorry.
exactly. No.
Yeah.
So, for example, Cats. I saw Cats here live.
Yeah,
Kevin took me for Christmas because
Bucket
you know.
list.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so
bucket
have you seen anything like live action theater?
I'm pretty sure I've seen things, and now I'm like, it's all drawing a blank. I saw Hamilton last year.
Okay.
And Hamilton was huge. Hamilton was like a big thing for the whole family. Like
You didn't see. So you've been to New York. I recommend seeing Broadway in New York.
No, I walked past Broadway.
Yeah.
I saw signs. I saw lots of
I
lights.
saw Tarzan in New York, and I saw Rent in New York as well.
Okay, I saw Madame Susatska, which is a movie that had Warren Beatty's sister, Shirley MacLaine, in it.
Oh,
but I saw the stage production.
So where was that?
Royal Alex.
Nice.
I saw that.
I saw Rock of Ages there, I think.
Did I see Rock?
I loved Rock of Ages. I did not like the movie as much. Also,
That was
Tom
gross.
Cruise.
Nobody needs to see Tom Cruise kiss anybody. That was disgusting. It's disgusting.
He's gross in that
He's
movie.
totally.
He's supposed to be that rock star, like Axl Rose character, but like,
It's like Lestat. He's not Lestat, and he's not.
Fair. I see it. I fear.
He was good in Magnolia.
Agreed.
Yes, he was very, very good in
I like
Magnolia.
him. So let's see here. My favorite Tom Cruise.
We're tangenting to Tom Cruise, and then we're going to come back.
Because I'm torn on Tom Cruise because some roles I love him and some I'm like ew, like no.
Yeah,
stop
so
it.
he was. So I think he played. There was a movie, Born on the 4th of July. There was one where he played a veteran, and he was
I
very,
didn't
very
watch
young.
that one.
That was a really good performance. I really enjoyed that. I think there was a film that he did with his wife Nicole at the time, where it was like they were Irish and he was a boxer or something.
Okay.
That was really, really good. I
didn't know about that one. I like Top Gun.
I think I enjoyed it. It was
Yeah,
okay, but
yeah.
I was like,
I like
whatever.
Val Kilmer more than Tom Cruise.
but Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
I do, however, I do feel.
Hot take.
I do
Hot
feel that Tom
take.
Cruise.
I love that.
His paying Ethan Hunt.
Ethan Hunt. Yes.
His Mission Impossible creations are really good. Like he did. However,
I agree.
that first film and what they did in terms of the original series and Mr. Phelps, because I'm not going to, because there's a spoiler.
Because there is an original series that had Martin Landau and Barbara Bain in it.
And Leonard Nimoy.
Dun dun dun!
And
connection.
Yes, and it was Graves. What was his first name? Peter Graves. Peter Graves.
Okay.
I think it's Peter Graves who played Mr. Phelps. And then in the movie with Tom Cruise, they had Jon Voight, and he's not my favorite actor.
I don't like Jon Voight.
No, he's creepy. He's really creepy. However, he also has an excellent film where he plays a school teacher in the South. And that's like the one thing.
What movie is that?
I'll find the name for you. It was one of those things that was like on CTV.
Jo Anne has been the source of many movies that
But
I end up watching.
if you ever get to see that film, it's like a little black community, and he's gone to teach, and he's just he's trying to make them realize the value of education. But even the black people don't want to listen because they're supposed to work. Excellent film.
Jon Voight is Angelina Jolie's father.
Yeah, all creepy.
Oh, super creepy. Yeah,
super creepy. But he plays Mr. Phelps in the first Mission Impossible reboot, and I did not like what they did to that character. And Peter Graves wanted to be in the film, but they were going to give him something else, and he wanted to play Mr. Phelps. But because of what they were going to do, they couldn't have, because people would just, it would just be such a disconnect. But in the end, I still feel that the character, even if you watch repeats of Mission Impossible, and you see all of those characters, what they had Mr. Phelps do in the movie, Mr. Phelps would never.
So this is like what we're talking about in terms of having respect for characters.
Yes.
And having, like when you're writing, fantasy novels and writing, like it's this concept of writing in character, right?
Yes.
So I think that's why also like Game of Thrones, people got really upset because there wasn't enough build up to have Daenerys turn into like the Mad Queen. They kind of she wasn't behaving in character.
Okay, and
so
I don't give that stuff.
But like, I mean, like that's just an example.
Yeah.
But like, you can have that with like many things in terms of like reboots. And as you're saying, like you're trying to give homage. Like I was letting you know that if you guys are familiar with the movie Flatliners,
yes,
they did a remake of Flatliners, and it's actually set here in Toronto. But they included Kiefer Sutherland in
which is, I think, it's a respectful nod.
Yes, exactly. So, but that's a way of like throwing back to like what came before, I guess, in some sort of way. But they also remade Quantum Leap. Do you know that?
Yeah, no,
that was awful.
No, that would be. I can't see enjoying that.
They made. They didn't include. Oh my gosh, what's his name? It's the Quantum Leap guy.
Oh, Scott Bakula.
Scott Bakula. So Scott Bakula was apparently. They wanted him to be in the movie, but they think they were going to not have him be like the main focus.
And that's not. And people wouldn't want to see the people would want to see what happened to that character, and so that would be.
So he turned it down, and we got what we got, which is I don't like. It's.
So I shouldn't watch it.
Don't watch it.
Okay.
Like, I feel like anytime anything is made like that, I'm like, that's just a note to go back to the original and watch that. And then, because every time I like even reread a comic book that I've read like 8 times, the one time I read it, that like one time I'm like, oh, yeah, there's a reason why I'm like reading it now.
Yes, and it's
right. And when I'm watching this movie, I'm like looking at the story now,
and you get some other layer to it that then gives meaning to everything that you're going on. It's almost like you're being reintroduced because there's lessons for you to get from it, or there's things that you had seen and it was buried, and now something has to pull it out, and that rewatch pulls it out.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's like for example, Power Rangers was like a big part of my childhood.
And they had good music.
Yeah, they had good music. And so that theme, like go Power Rangers.
Yes.
Power Rangers. So that theme song. So the remake of I actually like the Power Rangers remake.
Okay. I don't know if I saw that. I watched all the Power Rangers.
I like how
episodes.
they Zordon. They made Breaking Bad guy. What's his face? David. Oh my gosh, what's his name?
Not the dad.
Malcolm in the Middle dad is Zordon.
Yeah, okay, the Bryan Cranston.
Yes, thank you. Okay. So Bryan Cranston is Zordon, and then but they like explain it a little bit more because like I rewatched.
I could watch him all day though. I won't watch Breaking Bad because it's a bleak, miserable show.
We binge watched Breaking Bad way after it was popular in like a weekend.
My kids did that, and your dad did that.
Good, yeah.
Anything that is.
It is like dark. Yeah.
There are certain things that as I've gotten older and as it became apparent that like irredeemable things, I cannot watch Game of Thrones to save my life. Don't care. Don't want to watch it. Don't want to read the books.
So you saying that you guys, this is like in action where like if you don't find resonance with it, you don't have to pay attention to it.
No, and I don't.
You don't. No. You have that choice. You have that like sovereign ability in your own like inner mythos.
Yes,
to like, I don't really want to.
But then you have people who love it and they keep shoving it down your throat.
Well, then you have to look at like maybe why they like it.
Oh yeah, I get why they like it. They're strong strategic mind, not necessarily likes sinister, likes the embodiment of power. Person I'm talking about belongs to the House of Slytherin when we sorted the hat. But a very sharp mind and likes to see strategy and things like playing on with chess. And that person can see, some redemption, but I don't see the redemption at all. Like I believe that when he finishes that book, Westeros, it's just good. The ocean is just going to open up, and Westeros is just going to fall in. Like there's no
what's his name again? The author?
George R.R. Martin.
Thank you for saying it because I was like spilling all over my words. He is going to die before that book is finished.
He better not die.
What do you mean?
Because if he dies, I will be like Orpheus, and I will go back and bring him here so he can finish it. So my daughter, because she's going to be angry as all get out, and she gets angry about things that she's invested in. We did not hear the end of her ire and anger at the end of Game of Thrones and Shameless.
Oh, Shameless.
She loves Shameless.
Shameless, Emmy Rossum, who is in Phantom of the Opera, is in Shameless.
Okay, who does she play?
She's the daughter.
The one who owns the bar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a cute girl.
My daughter loves that show.
Yeah.
I've seen pieces of it, but I grew up with some of those people, so I don't want to deal with them. Like, I just...
It's too close to home sometimes. You don't need to live that out in your fantasy world.
I know the Franks and all those people and the shady people. Yeah. The people who would have said...
So Shameless doesn't have a theme song?
If it does, I don't know. I don't think so. I think it more has a look than a theme song.
So bringing it around to theme songs too.
But you mentioned Mission Impossible. Oh, I mentioned Mission Impossible, but it also has its own very specific.
Yeah, you can tell Mission Impossible by
and everybody knows it, even if they don't necessarily know it's Mission Impossible.
Gosh, yeah.
Right, and they don't necessarily know that there's that little fuse that follows it the whole song. But Mission Impossible has a very, very specific
James
sound.
Bond.
Yes.
Right. I also love the music that they make specifically for Bond movies.
Yes.
Because it doesn't matter who does it; it sounds like Bond.
Yes, it does.
Right?
Yes, yeah.
Like Adele. I love Adele. Adele's Bond is good.
I have the box set of up to a certain point. But then
what was your favorite Bond movie?
Oh,
and who is your favorite Bond?
Oh, my favorite Bond is Timothy Dalton.
Hot take.
Yes.
Hot take, guys.
Timothy Dalton was actually a very
My favorite is Pierce Brosnan.
I like Pierce Brosnan.
I don't know why, but
Pierce
I just like because of GoldenEye and just like the game.
And it was great.
Like,
and then my nemesis in that film too. But
that's true.
But and Pierce Brosnan was meant to be Bond, but he was on Remington Steele, so he had a TV show called Remington Steele, and NBC wouldn't release him from his contract. So he could because they felt that he was a hot property and they didn't want him to go. So he lost that opportunity, and then they invited him again after Timothy Dalton. But Timothy Dalton, Pierce Brosnan's Bond is a little cocky. Not cocky the way Sean Connery's Bond is.
I'm not a big fan of Sean Connery's Bond. I don't know. He's okay. I just was not.
He's like the solid whatever it is. And there's a generation of women who are like, oh, if he slaps me, that's totally fine, right? Because he said he would say that's how you like. He made a comment about slapping.
I'd slap you back.
Our generation, but there's a group of women that would. Yeah. And then that's that kind. But that's that kind of shot. Like doesn't he slap one of the girls' bums in one of the movies as well?
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Roger Moore is the most ridiculous Bond ever, and they were all stupid. Where he's down in the bayou and there's the dumb races and all of that stuff. Which is a shame because he was wonderful as the Saint.
That's true,
right? He was great and it's also a spy, but he was wearing pleated.
Val Kilmer was the Saint.
Yes, that's right, and that was good.
I love that movie.
Yes,
that was a good movie.
But Roger Moore, and he wore those little leather bombers and those pleated pants, and it's like James Bond doesn't dress like that. Timothy Dalton was actually quite sensitive, and you can sort of see
back and
and you could sort of see that he was hurting from the losses of the loves in his life.
I could see you being a Bond girl, actually.
Could you?
Which is kind of funny because as you said, your nemesis has beat you to that, even though that was probably your role.
It was my role. It was totally my role, and she
that moment where she walks out of the water, like in the Bond girl outfit.
However, the is it GoldenEye, the one with Pierce Brosnan and what's the Irish guy with the glasses? He plays Boris.
Because you can play him in the game. Oh my gosh,
with the little pen,
pinball or something.
Yes. His actual what is this? He
reminds me of Penguin for some reason.
No, but he was in The Good Wife.
Yeah.
And what's his name?
Oh my gosh, The Good Wife.
And he's Scottish. Oh my goodness! And he was also in that film with the kids.
Look up GoldenEye. GoldenEye the game though, like N64 got Wise. Mm-hmm. Video game wise, the GoldenEye game was the game where you could like split into 4. So we used to have friends come over and like all of us play like GoldenEye together, and it would just like it was like before Halo. Okay. So it was kind of like it actually laid the groundwork. If you look at Halo, like GoldenEye, the gameplay of like all of that.
Oh, interesting. See, I had an ex used to play a lot of Quake.
Oh gosh, Quake.
Yeah, so I
wasn't a big fan of Quake.
No, it was for really geeky stuff.
Depends. Okay, so like. I was friends with a lot of geeky stoners.
Right.
Too. Okay, what was I looking for again?
We were looking up. Were we looking up the actor who played Boris?
Yes, Goldeneye. That's what I wanted to look up. Goldeneye.
What is the name? I can see him. I know he's Scottish. He likes to wear plaids.
Which you are wearing right now.
Yes, he was the MC in Cabaret.
Maybe
on
someone in the
Broadway.
check if the chat has an answer for you.
Invite somebody. Yeah, it's a classic. I feel the same way about that, but there are some exceptions. I don't know who this is. Oh, just somebody sent a gift. Became the number 15th member of the team.
Oh, we got a gift. We got a gift.
Oh, I have shows that I
Thank
feel that
you.
way about, but I won't shove a show down anyone's throats. You have no kids. My kids. I actually watched Better Call Saul before Breaking Bad, and I prefer Saul's show. That makes
Okay,
sense.
interesting. I tried watching the Better Call Saul show, and I just couldn't get into it. I don't know why.
Yeah, like I said, it was bleak, so I wasn't going to.
Okay.
I wasn't
Did you
going.
watch the movie or the show House?
I liked House a lot.
And do you remember the theme song to that? It was Enigma, I think.
Oh, I remember Enigma.
Yeah, I love
They
Enigma.
had that great album.
Enigma's an awesome.
Yes,
awesome.
I
I recommend
remember.
Enigma. If you want a trip, it's
Yes.
good music.
You know who else has really good trippy music? Portishead.
Oh yes.
Yes,
Oh,
Portishead
yes.
has really good.
Oh
music.
yes.
But yeah, that's like a loaded weapon. You have to be careful about when you play it, where you play it.
When you want to go to those realms, you
Yes,
gotta be aware of
yes,
that.
and then who you're going to be with when you're playing Portishead. Same thing with Roxy Music's Avalon.
Oh my
that
gosh,
requires a
Fan
weapon.
K Jansen's in this too, and she's Xenia on the top.
So Zinnia was Zinnia on the top.
On the top.
Yes,
I loved her.
And
Oh.
remember, she would kill people, and she would also derive sexual pleasure from it because she would cross her legs. Remember?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, you're a babe. And she's also Jean Grey.
Yes.
X-Men, right?
I remember the first time I ever found out about her. It was an article in Elle magazine.
I like
And she was
her
up
a
and
lot.
coming.
Yeah, I like her a
actress.
lot. Okay. Does any of you guys look familiar?
Oh, I remember Robbie Coltrane was in it, and so was Minnie Driver. I forgot about that. He played Russians.
Q? No.
No. You'll
Boris?
Alan Cumming. That's it.
There we go.
Alan
Boris
Alan
Grushenko.
Cumming.
That
Yes.
makes sense. Yeah, Alan Cumming.
Alan Cumming.
What else have you been in, Alan Cumming?
He's been in lots. He was also in
Yeah.
that. He was also in that film with the Spy Kids. He was in Spy Kids.
X-Men United.
Yes.
Nightcrawler.
Yes.
Oh, crazy.
Yes,
Did
yes.
not know that.
Yes.
Nightcrawler's.
And like I said, he was on The Good Wife or whatever that whole body of stuff. He was the MC in Cabaret. He has another TV show
Here.
now or some reality
I don't know
program.
what any of these things are. Solar podcast series. My Father's Dragon.
What is this?
I don't know. It's his credits. Son of the Mask.
See, I don't like this. I prefer just going into Wikipedia and then looking up filmography. I'm so
IMDb.
yeah. See, that's very cluttered. I find there's lots of things that are going on in this.
And so this is the Nintendo game.
Oh, okay.
Can I play it online? You guys, we can play. I can play online. GoldenEye.
Can you see if Clax is in there?
Maybe. What is this doing?
It's loading.
Game core ready. Oh my gosh. Retro games. What is this?
.com.
CZ.
CZ.
Yeah. So
Czechoslovakia?
retrogames.cz. No idea. And then so it's got a bunch of things in here.
And I'm like CZ.
Yeah.
It's CZ.
Sweet. I think you guys will do some like fun little retro games to maybe share. Yeah. Like
right.
Ninja Turtles and all that. So video games too as well have like soundtracks. Like Halo itself. They
Mortal
had
Kombat did.
Mortal Kombat, that movie, the first one.
Yeah.
I actually really liked it.
I enjoyed that. I saw that.
I don't know why I liked it. So it was
was-
like one of those things where like, oh, I don't like the
I think because it was
Mortal
sort of.
Kombat.
Yes, but I think- And I think it would have been one of the very first times that we watched a game come to life as a movie.
the video game remakes of
Yes,
things.
exactly.
Yeah. Not
And-
to be like Uwe Boll's stuff. Are you familiar with Uwe Boll?
No.
Who does all like the Resident Evil movies?
No.
Oh gosh, he just did.
That's Mila
he was in-
Jovovich, right?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
I love Mila though.
Everybody loves Mila.
Of course,
Everybody
yeah,
loves
but like
Mila.
has been misused. I feel in films.
Yes, I think
She could have been like better purposed for something.
Yes.
Like, what was that movie that she was in?
But did you like her as Lilo?
Yeah,
Okay.
I did.
Yeah.
I like her. Yeah, and like her like
Was she in a film with Christian Slater?
maybe.
I keep thinking she was in a film with Christian Slater.
She might be.
Yeah,
she
I
might
think
be.
his name was
Yeah.
George. I just remember her going, George.
So, before we wrap up this conversation in terms of music, I think we went through a lot of different like soundtracks, movies,
Television.
TV shows, like musicals, kind of. Are you a big musical person?
Yeah, I do like my musicals. Like I said, I went to
So
see
the latest
Hamilton.
Joker is a musical.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, and then they had Lady Gaga play Harley Quinn, and
I don't know how I feel about that
I
either.
know, I wasn't a big fan of that. I like Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn.
And I like Jared Leto's Joker.
You're like alone on that. That is not my joke. I don't know. I'm like, do you guys have a Joker? Like, who's your favorite Joker?
But Jack Nicholson is not my Joker.
Oh,
at
interesting.
all. I don't like Jack Nicholson at all. I know he's a good actor. I can see the importance of his performances.
Is it The Shining? Is it that? Here's Johnny.
No,
Situation.
he was in Chinatown. I keep thinking Moses and I was in that.
I never watched Chinatown.
It's a good film.
He was an Easy Rider.
I only
Isn't
saw
that
little
bad?
clips of that. He was also in the one of his very, very first roles was the dentist in Little Shop of Horrors, which is black and white,
so
not
these,
a musical.
these are from Rocky Horror Picture Show. So these boot coverings that I have.
Oh, okay.
So actually, let me see if these light up. I was gonna try to see. These are supposed to be light up shoes.
You don't have to hit them?
No, there's like a.
Ooh.
There they are. Okay, sweet. These are charged. No, low battery. God damn it.
I think this is the first time I've ever actually heard you swear-ish.
Really?
Yes.
I swear a lot. I try to hold back on TikTok because they get mad at me. But
Yes, and I can swear. I try not to, or I use well-placed epithets. I'm also
Well-placed epithets. I love that.
I'm also prudish, but also vulgar at the same time.
I love
try
that.
not to.
Yeah.
I try not to.
So I wasn't allowed to swear at home.
No, neither was I. That
Yeah,
would've
that
just
would have been like bad, like really bad. So like I when I was like out, I would just develop a potty mouth.
Yes,
but then I had to be careful because like
you had to know when to turn it off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, so I did that with I can remember telling all my kids. I'm like, you know what? I know you swear.
Yeah.
You swear with your friends. You swear at the school. You swear. I'm not going to stop you from swearing out there. But if you let it slip, if it happens in front of me, I'm not going to be happy. But for the love of God, don't swear in front of your grandparents. Don't swear in front of your teacher or your principal, because I can't save you. I just can't. It's just like I can't.
Yeah. No, it's like
I can't help.
A well placed
Epithet.
I love that. Is like it's just very satisfying.
Yes.
And how do you feel about swearing in songs and music?
It depends. So it's like the N word. I don't like hearing the N word, and I have very specific theories and beliefs about it.
Okay.
But there is one song by Bob Dylan called "The Hurricane," which is about Hurricane Carter, a boxer, and he uses the N word, and he uses it in the context of what people are saying about this particular person, and he says it from the black people, what the black people think, and the way he sang it. It's like I've heard black people say it that way, and it was like, and he wasn't calling that person that name. He was recounting, and it's like one of the few times that I will let it slide. But in the end, like there's a lot of songs where there's a lot of swearing and so forth, and I'm like, I don't think I mind it, but it doesn't add anything to the story or the song.
That's a great point because we were talking about. So, I think next week, what do you want to talk about?
I don't know.
I think
do you have suggestions?
Yes. We have some likes and some loves, suggestions. Oh, some follows. Okay, so I think next week.
Does that person just follow you?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, and if you want to follow Joanne, she is on TikTok.
Oh, okay. You can tell them what it is.
Yes.
And I brought my books for reading. Hold on.
Oh, okay. So you can follow Joanne. She's Tiny Afrodite. I've been calling her Joanne, but I'm using our code name, superhero names right now. Alter ego names. She is in my book as well, right? And I loved your power because, one of many powers, like this concept of having a quill and writing into form your magic spells.
Is that right?
And then writing. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, what a great way of conceptualizing your powers because
Yes. I had mentioned a couple of times that I was willing to read Lloyd Alexander's Chronicles of Prydain, which were based on Melk mythology. But with you, when you read, you have pictures, and I would just be reading words. So I don't know if people are interested in something like that.
I think it would work because at the end of the day, no one can really see my panels well. And I tried once on TikTok. People were like, "Oh, can you flip it so that you can actually see?"
Yes.
I tried.
Yeah.
It screwed me up.
Okay. Yeah.
Looking at myself in a weird mirrored way. I was
everything's backwards.
That's not how you look at yourself in the mirror,
Yes.
right? So you're just like, who is that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, why? And I kept on just being like, what is happening here? I'm like, I can't do it. So when I do the replays, I have the pictures in with them, but I don't think necessarily
you can
a lot
tell
of people
me.
just like listening too.
Yes.
So
you
you
can
being
say,
in the video is cool too.
I
but
guess. I guess if you don't, I guess you can follow me, but you don't think you have to. I don't think you have to message. You don't have to follow me if you want to message me. Okay, like if you just want to tell me. Like I don't know how this all works, but I also went to the bookstore and I found the strangest book ever. It is called Barbie's Fashion Success from 1952.
I love it. Barbie was a big part of our lives,
right?
Yeah.
And it would be. I'm curious to see what her because it's got to be sexist. But at the time, they would have thought it was empowering, right? So it would be interesting just to sort of explore.
Just make sure we verify that I'm a real person.
Oh,
This is not a bot. Yeah. It does that after like an hour to make
got
sure.
it. Okay, that you're just not running on some nonsense. So
Yeah.
so I don't know if people care because there would also be a whole because it was actually commissioned by Mattel in 1950. So this is it's Random House, but
You know what? That is a great.
Yeah, by
it
Mattel.
just came to me. So next week, I want us to look at, let's say, stories that have connections to toys.
Oh,
Like She-Ra, for example, and He-Man, they were created to sell toys.
okay,
Right?
specifically.
So specifically. So
And that would have been after the Star Wars thing where figurines now became a big deal because before that it would have been G.I. Joe who would have had any kind of personality or entity that was created for a particular, but also to promote a war.
But you think about it, like toys back in the day were epic. Like think of the toys that we have now and like all of it being on the screen versus toys that you were actually like tactile and you were like playing with these toys, right? Like Easy Bake Oven,
They still
or
have
like
those, though.
I know they still have them, but like the commercials that were around them.
I hated my Easy Bake Oven. I really did. First of all, it was an ugly color. And then the commercial would make it seem like it was so seamless, and it was automatic. And then
I never got an Easy Bake Oven. That's why I coveted it so much.
No,
I was
and
like,
then
okay.
you have to put it, and then you're putting it in, and then you're pushing it through the thing, and it's not like it's a cake. It's some kind of weird flat batter thing in a little pan. So you've got, it was like a huge disappointment. I preferred plasticine to Play-Doh. I thought Play-Doh was kind of gross, and Play-Doh didn't really keep the shape, whereas plasticine did. I like playing Mastermind. Connect 4 was a game that I loved playing.
Connect 4 was fun. I would Connect 4.
Yes.
Yeah. Battleship.
Yes. But
Hungry Hippos.
you know what was a disappointment? Mousetrap. Mousetrap was the worst game ever.
I never liked Mousetrap. It took way too long to set up, and then it
Didn't do anything.
No,
it was a dud.
crap. No.
You know what Mousetrap was good for? All the little mice became handbags for my Barbies. Because it was the tail, and they could all fit on Superstar Barbie and Skipper's Louvers, and they became like really designer purses for my dolls.
Yes, and I think we can also talk about like the relationship between like merch and movies.
Yes.
And like, what comes first? You know what I mean? Like if someone's like, oh, this would make really great merch, or like for example, Star Wars, like the newer ones, you can almost like feel where like, oh, where can we make merch out of this? By creating this character.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
So that kind of concept, as opposed to kind of happening organically, where
Whereas originally it would have happened organically, but now they've realized it's a business. Does anybody ever watch Angry Appa?
Angry Appa.
Yeah, he's the father from Kim's Convenience, but he unboxes his toys.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's really cool to see this whole. He's like has a basement that's just dedicated, and he's got the helmet, and he's got the figurines, and he's got all of the things.
My sister's kind of like that. She's got a lot.
It's
of
really.
Yeah.
I remember I had a Luke Skywalker, and I had a Harrison Ford, and I
have two Ewoks
Princess
at home.
Leia.
Yeah.
Okay, but they were like little figurines, and then the gun where the lightsaber was in the arm, and you had the little thingy to push it out. So yes.
I love this stuff.
Yes.
That stuff was awesome. And then you had like, me and my sister had a whole like world that we created with our Barbies.
Yes.
And our G.I. Joes and all of our toys.
I had a Ken.
You had a Ken. Wow.
Yes. Eventually, I had two Kens, and there was
what kind of Kens did you have?
I had a Malibu Ken.
What?
And then I had some
Barbie
Ken
too,
who was like a white cream colored suit. He had like hair.
Yeah.
Whereas Malibu,
you had a Ken with real hair.
Yes, but the first
not
Ken
just like the plastic,
which was Malibu Ken.
Okay, yeah.
But I had this revelation about my mom. So there was no dolls with color.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Yeah,
And then I had my
except
Barbies.
for like the really tan one.
Which was Malibu Barbie.
Yeah.
And then I realized that because my mom got me Malibu Barbie, Malibu Ken, and Malibu Skipper. And I love Skipper.
I love Skipper too.
Skipper is my favorite. I think that Ken is going to realize that Barbie is a waste of his time, and he's going to realize that Skipper is actually where it's at. She's smart, and she's cool, and she's kind of funny, and he's going to fall for her.
What is the relationship of Barbie and Skipper?
They're sisters.
They're sisters, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But we all know, and normally in this day and age, it would probably be really gross. But back then, he would probably just be wanting to go out with Barbie, and Barbie would take him shopping, but nothing would have ever happened. And then Barbie would go off, and she'd make her fashion designs, and then Ken would be left behind, and he would hang out with Skipper, and it would be sort of like Little Women and Laurie and Amy.
Yeah, I could see that. Oh my gosh, I love Little Women.
And everybody loves Little Women. It's one of the, and it's also one of the few books because of the fact that with the Civil War, but we already sort of know that they were sympathetic to the slaves, right? So,
yeah, that's true.
So it has come through
elements,
things.
yeah.
It's come through history unscathed in terms of retelling American stories. Whereas I think Little House on the Prairie has had some issues. I think they've taken away the Laura Ingalls Wilder Award as well because in one of the books there's a few scenes where you see the family watching. The First Nations and the Indigenous being displaced, where they have to travel. But Ma says at some point the only good Indian is a dead Indian.
Oh, she says that.
She says that it's actually
in there.
In the books, and that becomes problematic. And there's another series of books that are American stories.
I never read any of those. Like
Little House on the
Prairie.
Oh, you have to watch the shows first.
I should watch the shows.
And then,
because considering I am a prairie girl, I'm from
the books
prairies,
are wonderful. The books are wonderful, and it's really this, and it's not that far away. But there are certain scenes where they're making the sod houses, and we have those Canadian, those historical moments where we see them. So they were Scandinavians.
And a Canadian heritage moment,
exactly,
which is what Joe Shuster was about too.
Yes, and so then they show. So there's you have those moments where they're building sod houses when they're living in the big woods. And there's one moment I think it's either Christmas Day or it's a snowy day. There's a snowstorm, and Laura and Mary sleep in the same bed. And it was cold when Laura falls asleep, but when she wakes up, she's toasty warm. And what had happened was because the roof is logs, the snow comes in and covers the bed. And so they're under a blanket of snow, and she wakes up toasty warm. She recounts like Christmas presents where an orange is important, or they've got a whittled toy. And it's really interesting to experience history that way.
Yes. So that's why, have you seen the show Three Body Problem?
No.
So the girl that you, Deadpool's girlfriend.
Oh, yeah.
Her actress.
Yes, Inara from Firefly.
Yes. So the fact that Firefly, so she's also, I consider her like sci-fi royalty. Like they like to use her as to be like this, this beautiful woman who could potentially be an alien too, right?
Yes.
So she's
also
elfin kind of thing.
And she's also powerful in her sexuality. Yep. But she's also powerful, and she's wise, and she's not a pushover.
Yeah, it's her voice too. I feel like it's the way that she speaks.
Yes, and her pacing.
Yeah. So, where was I going with this? It's just there's these certain actors, like Nathan Fillion, for example, is sci-fi royalty as well, right? Yes. Christopher Lambert is considered sci-fi royalty. William Shatner, right? Look, your face. What do you feel about William Shatner?
I like Leonard Nimoy more, but my favorite from Star Trek was always
Picard.
Captain. Okay, so in the original, I like Chekhov. And I forgot his name, but he's a wonderful actor. Very, very. What's his name? I can see him, and he's had tragedy in his life, but he's always been my favorite. Who did I like?
But no Shatner.
No, Shatner was over the top. He was handsome and whatever, but he's always over the top, and he's always his Kirk is always violating the Prime Directive, and it's because he's having sex with all the women on the other planets. It's like a code.
So you could see also in Space 1999 how Landau was trying to do that.
Yes,
but I would say no.
No, he's not, because he's not sexy. He's not. And then on Star Trek, on the Next Generation, Riker is supposed to be the sexy one. And I was like, I liked Worf, but I also felt I didn't grow up with my dad, but I felt if I was going to meet my dad, that heft that Worf has.
Yeah.
I also liked O'Brien. I liked the engineer. They were the characters that there was something about their
There's something to that. I feel like with the characters that you like gravitate to, you find resonance to. The ones you don't like that much either, like they give you some clues about yourself.
Okay, I feel that way about the Little Prince. So who's your favorite character in Little Prince?
Little Prince.
You know the book, The Little Prince. You know the little boy on the planet. And he has the rose that he really, really loves, and he travels, and then he has to get back to the rose.
I can't remember that story.
Okay, so next week.
Oh my gosh!
Or if you could, or say now, if you read The Little Prince,
I can see it, but I can't actually think of.
Yeah, the one planet had a teetotaler. One planet had his rose.
That's a great question, though.
Yes, one planet I think had a fox.
Okay.
There were a few others, and then he lands on Earth, and that's where he meets the snake.
Okay.
Yes, and what was beautiful about the story, they found him now, but for the longest time his plane just crashed into the desert, the way this character did in the book, and I always thought he went back to his Little Prince, but they subsequently I think they have found his plane. Okay. Yes. Okay. But I always felt that if he had landed and he was delirious or whatever, I would hope that his Little Prince came to take him back, because that was what they sort of understood, that they would find each other again.
Okay. Well,
I'm sentimental like that.
I need to look into that, and then I will give an answer to that. And that's a great segue into next week's conversation. So we do this show every week, Topical Illusions, same bat time.
Same bat channel.
And I think next week
next week's also Halloween.
Oh, shoot. Holy shoot.
Yeah,
oh my gosh, we need to think about that, because you'll have to dress up. I always dress up. So we'll coordinate. She never dressed up, but she will.
I only did it once when I was at work, and I was Black Widow. I've done two things when I worked at the big institution.
Who would you want to dress up as? And then work back from there, because then we can kind of be like, hey, there's different options. Who do you feel what characters would you want to dress up as? If
I was going to do Marvel now, it would probably be Wanda.
Yeah,
I like Wanda. She's also a parent, right? So this is something that I recognize.
Yes,
with
another powerful redhead.
Morticia.
Okay.
I like Morticia
too.
Right? And I really like that. I like that relationship that they have.
I could see that.
All the Morticias.
Yeah. The vibe of Vampira and that vampy kind of look.
Yes. I'd also be a Betty Boop.
I see that.
I could be a Betty Boop.
I could see Betty Boop. Oh my gosh. I think I could maybe help you with that.
Yeah, so Betty Boop.
Some stuff.
Betty Boop would be one, Morticia, Wanda. There's probably a few others, but I don't really,
see what comes to you. Because I tell you guys too, even when it comes to, so I'm doing Zatanna later.
Yes.
At midnight, and I'm doing a DC Bombshells read.
Okay.
And the DC Bombshells are from a universe, the multiverse, right? But it's all about I've looked it up and I thought it was steampunk, but it's actually something called diesel punk.
Okay.
So it's this look of you think diesel cars, diesel energy, just almost like steampunk, except with the goggles.
And sorry, because you mentioned steampunk. Have any of you watched Doctor Who? There was one episode where they're on a ship, and the ship represents the Queen Elizabeth. The spaceship represents England, and there's Queen Elizabeth, and the Queen Elizabeth we've discovered is now a title. You become the Queen Elizabeth, and she's this strong black woman. And there's just something about her with the hair and the way she would stride, and I was like, I would play that.
Okay, Or you could think of even a custom character.
That's a lot of work.
No, it's not. It's you. It just amplifies you.
No, it's really hard. Chuck wants me to make these signs at work for the bread. Any of you, and Bob, if you're watching, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's like I'm thinking about it for 3 or 4 days just for it to say "Bool of the Day" or to have some.
How can this be said exactly
the right way, or to find? Because sometimes he has these little plays on words, and I'm like, that's just so much. And it's gotten to the point where he's hostile, and he'll grab it because he wants that sign out, and he'll come and he'll just write, he'll just scroll
whatever,
olive, and then he'll just put it out. Whereas I put the hashtags. I'm like local love, and I do the little heart, and I call us the JF. There's a whole bunch of other things that I do, but I then it has to look right, and and so that would be the same thing with costumes. I'd be like, it would take me.
I just thought of
3
something
years.
that we can do next. Oh, hey, Pikachu!
Oh yes, Pikachu was on. You were talking Pikachu
and
last
look,
night.
we got some pumpkins. Yay! Thank you. Yay! Little pumpkin gifts. Thank you for that.
You would have to show me a glossary of what all of these little things.
I forgot that next week is Halloween. How could I forget? Someone actually asked me a question the other day, being like, "How do you celebrate Halloween if you like dress up all the time?" I'm like, that's a great question. I think what would be nice is if we look at movies that actually use Halloween in the movie,
but not horror.
But not horror.
Okay, because I'm just not gonna do it.
Because it just, I mean, there's Halloween is in the movie.
I don't think that does that
Hocus Pocus or something.
I've not seen Hocus Pocus.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I've never seen Hocus. I've never seen.
There's
Hocus
a few
Pocus.
of them that have Halloween's part of the movie itself.
Did Jeff Goldblum ever play Ichabod Crane?
I don't know. I feel like that sounds right though.
Yeah. So maybe something like that. Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah, Sleepy Hollow. Yeah.
Sleepy Hollow.
Joanne's not a big horror person.
No, my mom watched a lot of it.
I look at horror as psychic training.
Ugh.
For dealing with nightmares and stuff.
No, my mom watched all the.
So yeah,
I was really young when I saw
young.
The Exorcist.
You have to see Hocus Pocus. That's what John's telling you.
Oh, okay.
You need to watch Hocus Pocus. It's good.
Okay,
it's
okay.
Good.
So yes,
Sarah Jessica Parker's in it, I think, as well as
Bette Midler and the other one. You know what? Or what's the other film with the? It's a chick flick that everybody likes with the witches in it.
The Witches of Eastwick. That has Jack Nicholson in it, and they all want to sleep with him. It's so weird.
Gross.
Why would Michelle Pfeiffer
and Cher's in
it wanting to sleep with Jack Nicholson? And they're like, "Oh, his dick is curved exactly right." I'm like, "Ew, pure."
Oh, that's so disgusting. He's just so gross. It's like Kevin Spacey gross.
Yeah, but in that, because Kevin introduced me to that movie. It's got a lot of fun stuff.
It's a
fun movie, but
who wrote it?
I forget. The Witches of Eastwick. That's my recommendation for you guys to rewatch.
But the book is by the same guy? Who wrote Witches of Eastwick?
Basket of Heads is a good DC horror comic. Oh, okay.
And as soon as I saw Basket of Heads, I'm like, I'm
Love
not.
Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp. Yes, that was good.
Okay.
Yes, it was good. Christina Ricci is in it as well, I think.
Okay.
I believe.
I like her Penelope.
I like Christina Ricci in general.
So do I.
Yeah,
I was really sad when
I think she's really cute.
She was supposed to have that TV show about airline hostesses, and it got canceled. I think.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Huh.
And it was set in the 50s or whatever, but she looks so cute. And
I love it. She's she's got an old. I know. I think there's just a look to her. She's my type.
And she's solid in her acting, right?
Yeah.
She was a great Wednesday. It was all of those. There's just something about her performances that she's always gonna give the best at whatever it is that she's doing.
Yes. So next week we'll talk about Halloween. Mm-hmm. For example, The Crow.
Yeah.
Not that we ever want to watch The Crow, but the Crow is very tied to Halloween because on Halloween, that's almost like the deadline. Mm-hmm. So when he is brought back to life to exact vengeance on those who've done him and his girl wrong, he does all of that, and then he comes back to his tombstone on Halloween, and the goddess energy of his wife Shelley comes to him, and he's done his he can rejoin her after the year, right?
Yes.
So it's this. Halloween is when the veil is very thin,
and so
this concept also of using masks to show the truth of what's really underneath, right? And this even contacting our ancestors and playing things all of this kind of stuff, the other realms. It's just everything. The messages are all just much more clear.
See, so and when you mention that, I keep thinking of. Is it a Disney film where the little boy, his grandfather is gone, and the grandfather's going to fade away, and somehow the boy gets pulled into the other world?
Oh shoot, that sounds.
It's a Day of the Dead film, but it's that same kind of idea where, but this is about family love, but it's that same kind of pull that pulls you to the other side to be able to be connected once more, and so that they're not forgotten.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So it's all of that kind of stuff. So any movies that deal with that, whatever comes up, we'll think of it. And I think we'll come back to toys and movies, that kind of stuff.
So the same day or the following week?
I think the following week.
Okay.
We'll have a little schedule of events of topics so we can keep within it. But yeah, we'll think of something to do with Halloween.
Okay.
And just the concept of even the fact that you don't like horror, so it's like the idea of like looking at Halloween movies that maybe aren't scary.
Or Halloween things like we all know the Great Pumpkin.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it's Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, like, and that has resonance.
No, exactly. Yeah, so that kind of thing, or like all these other like Halloween things, because it's like how we deal with the darkness.
Yes.
Right. So this
I keep thinking Disney probably had some good stuff.
I think so too. Yeah, if you look back at it, but you know what? Also, like even some like. There's a lot of movies like The Dark Crystal, The Black Cauldron, even The Last Unicorn. There's a lot of
The Black Cauldron. Lloyd Alexander, but I do know that I haven't seen the movie, and I didn't want to see the movie because I knew that it was gravitated very, very far away from this, and it wasn't. And they should have started off with the Book of Three. But I would think that if it was still the same, you would have had the undead soldiers, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And I mean that movie freaked me out as a kid.
Yes, you would have had Aran, the Dark Lord.
Yeah, it was freaking creepy.
Was it Archon in it as well? She was sort of like his consort once upon a time, and then he sort of he usurped her power.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah.
So, but like there were like a lot of maybe we'll look at that too, like animations that were like darker.
Yes.
And so they weren't necessarily
Sleeping Beauty is dark.
Yeah.
Sleeping
or so
Beauty.
what was the one I was thinking? I watched.
Because she calls upon the.
Oh, so like this isn't Halloween, but it's Christmas. Did you ever watch A Christmas Story, like the Disney version with Scrooge McDuck?
Yeah, vaguely.
Okay, so scared the crap out of me.
Really?
Because when he saw the third ghost, the ghost of Christmas future, and he goes to his tombstone.
Yes.
And like he falls into the grave, and like the thing. I was like, this is scary.
Well, that's
what the heck is this? Why am I seeing this?
Because whoever saw
grave site and like
whoever saw it probably watched Carrie.
Maybe, yeah.
And that was another film that I saw at far too young of an age,
and that's why. Yeah.
Yes.
Carrie's freaky.
Carrie was terrifying, especially that end where she goes to put the flowers on the graves and then the hand comes up, and that's the moment when you realize she's never going to be free. No. Like there's not like every day going to sleep every day is a terrifying moment for her. There's no peace for the rest of her days at all. And I remember reading it, but I don't read a lot of. I read Stephen King's gentler things.
I don't really read Stephen King.
He's a very good writer.
Read a lot of Stephen King. Yeah.
I have a question. This is a Stephen King tangent. He wrote The Shawshank Redemption, or it's Rita Hayworth in The Shawshank Redemption, and then they did the film.
Yes.
Now I believe that there was no description of the characters in the book or in the short story, and that's why the movie is very impressive to me, because they weren't playing. They picked actors who could just play the characters, but I'm pretty sure if there is a description that I may have missed, one of you would have seen it, and I would like to know, because I was always under the impression there wasn't, but I'm not 100% sure. But that's
so that's a good question.
Yeah, they talk about the character. I recall them talking about the characters, and there's a character named Red, but we know that he's not named up because of his red hair. And I think that's in the movie. It's Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
But I don't recall reading a description of him. I think it's his talents, his abilities, and the same thing with the other character who's played by Robbins. But
I love Tim Robbins.
Yes, and I don't understand.
Tim Robbins as an actor. Yeah,
I don't understand what Susan Sarandon was thinking.
I
love and did you ever see? There was a film with him and one of the Bridges, and he plays. He and his wife, who's played by. Her last name is Davis, and he's a professor. Bridges is a professor, and they move in next door, and then he starts to realize that maybe they are terrorists. But it's
I don't know. Do you know what that movie is?
I'll find it for you.
Okay,
But it was a psychological thriller.
Okay.
And then they make him feel like he's going crazy, and we have to discover.
There was a time period. There was a lot more like psychological thrillers.
Yeah,
like The Skeleton Key, Double Jeopardy.
No, but even the player was a suspenseful.
Yeah, so it's not like horror, but it's more like about like this like cat and mouse kind of game.
Yes,
or like
and where our heads are at and what we're capable of, and those films actually got into us because then it's like, what would we do? Or maybe we already had ideas about what we would do in those situations, and those movies then make us face them.
Okay, so that's another topic, like the psychological thriller genre, and I think also just genres in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like what makes it a horror versus it being a thriller.
Yes, because Wait Until Dark was a thriller.
Yeah.
There was, have you seen that one? Audrey Hepburn, Alan Arkin.
Actually, I haven't seen
yeah.
that.
So she plays she plays a woman who is blind.
Wait, I've heard about this movie.
It's excellent.
Yes. Okay. All right. So that's going in that little checklist. Let's see if there's any comments here. The Game was a good thriller. Oh yeah, The Game. I love The Game. The Game was a good movie.
What was The Game?
The Game has oh my gosh. It's about reality, you guys. If you watch The Game is basically a tell on like how life actually is.
The Cask of
Sean
Amontillado. Yes, that's Pope. I remember reading that in high school.
Ooh, yeah. Okay, so you guys, thank you so much for joining us for Topical Illusions. I think we talked today about...
That's a cool name, the Court of Comics.
Yeah, people, you guys, my viewers, you guys are like very well versed in all stories and fantastic.
You're actually you're fun. I was always scared of doing this. Which Tron did you like more?
Oh, the first one or the Legacy? Okay, hot take, loved Legacy. I loved Tron Legacy.
So
I liked the first one too, just because like my father was a professor in computer science. I grew up with computers, and my dad literally made me computer games to teach me math. Like himself, like coded it back in like in like the early 90s. I'm talking about like 89, 90. So I grew up with computers. I grew up with the internet, with like from like the time I like knew like when I went to school, I was like, oh, other people don't. like my friends don't have computers. Like my friends, like so when it came to Tron, the first one, this concept of like making a game and like getting into the game, creating a world, and like Legacy does a great job of like bridging the gap, right? Because it's this concept of like in the game, life is created.
Yes, yeah, and he's also trapped now. He has it's his own resources from what he has from this outside world. I remember Tron, and I remember the excitement.
I also love Daft Punk in Tron. So my fitness routine that I used to do fitness routines. I did Tron de-rezzed. That was like my fitness routine, and then I did it, and people were like, I don't know what that was. It was amazing. I'm like, you don't know freaking like what the heck? Who are you people?
But I think that people know them now more because of the random access memory. But
probably, yeah. But I love Daft Punk, and like One More Time with the anime in it. One more time, celebrate and dance so free. And so Daft Punk doing Tron Legacy, the light cycle.
That would make sense.
It was like legit. Like I loved it so much.
So mine was it was a small little niggly thing, but it had to do with how he appeared. So we know how he looked when he was trapped in the first film.
Yeah.
And then I was looking at AI, and it didn't resonate for me because I was watching fake hair move. Like it was very. It did all the things like human, like your hair moves.
Well, that's in Tron 2, right? Not to give away anything, and I think it's worth a watch in this theater actually, because that and the game, like when I tell you guys, like reality is a big video game, and how I look at astrology is like you, before you came into this game of life, already chose what kind of experiences you wanted to have as this character, and that's why like I'm not saying it's fatalistic. I'm just saying like you.
It's still you making a using your will to make a choice.
You have many ways that this can go. This story can go many ways. However, what story you are in, it's good to kind of know that, so that you're not trying to fight flow, right? It just, and things like, why isn't this working, or why are all these things going wrong? It's like maybe because like you need to kind of just like let.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like there's just a certain level of like, not saying like you sit back in your seat and like let destiny take you, but like also like be open to.
It's like choosing the role player. So I remember reading a psychotherapist who did past life experiences, and he would hypnotize these people, and he spoke to a few, and he spoke to one where he was able to get to where I guess that person is in the afterlife or the before life. And
because time's not linear, right? No. It's just we're kind of like in a spiral.
And he was given choices, and so that person, that spirit or that entity was able to choose. And the therapist said, "Well, why did you choose this one?" He goes, "Well, I looked at it and it was like that was the one that I saw the most potential with." And so I think it's the same thing. It's like picking your role. I'm going to pick this role, and then what happens is we get here. So I've met people who I feel have chosen, and for whatever reason they can't function in that role. They thought they could. And then you sort of see them, you see all the mishaps or the misplays.
Or what we do sometimes, what I've done in like past relationships, right? Where like Kevin, my husband, my beautiful husband, my love of all my lifetimes, when I first saw him in the gym, I knew. I knew I was going to marry this man. And he was 21 and I was 23. We moved in together after 3 weeks.
Really?
And we've been together ever since, and I'm 39 now. So, and we, like, I don't know how to explain it, but just, like, you know. There's no rules bound it. Like, I tell my friends, like, I can't tell you, like, I just knew. Like, and even when I saw Wolf, when I picked up Wolfie, when I wasn't even there to pick up Wolfie, like, because I looked at the little ad and I wanted to pick up this little, like, runt named Chester. But I came and Wolfie was, like, hanging out with the cats. Like, not with the other dogs, like, being all weird and stuff. Like, and then so he like looked at me, and I felt this much like, oh, you came.
Yes.
You're here. Like, it's time now.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, like, I don't know how to explain
but I know
those kinds of things.
But you recognized each other, and it was like, okay, we're here. We found each other. Now it's like, now let's continue on.
Yeah. So it's just all of that in your life. That's your story, and, like, no one's gonna be able to tell you what that is or how to enjoy. You can have friends along the way that can give you little glimpses, but I do think in those stories where you're like, that character, what that character is going through really, really vibes with me. I don't know why, or like a song you hear at the right time, and, you're like, and there's just something that you're catching.
Yes.
And then just to take a little moment and be like, okay, bookmark it.
Yes.
Come back to it later, and it could be 5-10 years later, but like that little moment will like somehow tie to like now, and then it'll all just kind of like
agreed.
You know, even of how we met. It's just like
it was just
set of like strange circumstances,
and then we just started talking more.
And then you just find like, wow, like maybe we have known each other for many lifetimes before this, right? And like I'm sure that you guys have had friends where you meet and you can talk for like hours. And you literally have never met this person before. And it's like literally like you just and others where you're like, this is very like awkward.
I don't necessarily, if we don't talk again or we don't talk for a year.
That's cool.
It's not a biggie. I'm not gonna
So I feel like I welcome you guys to like just take a look at your own fantastical story of life and the people that you have chosen to play roles.
I like Joanne's take.
Yay! That's what we're doing this show, because in conversation, right, in dialogue, like I love having conversations with myself. It's great, a lot of my different aspects of myself. But when you're like interfacing with other beings and the stories that like the way you see a story, we can watch the same movie and we're going to take something.
And then how we both then describe it or relate it to each other then adds extra meaning or extra layers to it, where you go, and then that
the amount of times you brought up stuff for like a connection, like even like Doors of Perception with Aldous Huxley, saying the doors look like the doors, and like Val Kilmer, Batman Forever. I'm like, oh my gosh. So like that's more of what we're going to be doing in this show going forward. I hopefully will have like a little whiteboard. We can do like 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon, except we'll call it something else. And we also need to come up with a Joannism that's not a Joannism. Or we can call it a... it's not really an ism though. It's
the bed thing wasn't an ism? No, it wasn't an ism.
It's not an ism. It's like a...
That was more like a philosophy.
It's like a hot take philosophy.
I believe that a well-made bed is a happy bed, and a happy bed is a well-made bed.
Oh yes. Well, we'll get into the bed making.
But that was the thing about the ism. It's not quite an ism; it's a philosophy.
And then I was asking Joanne that, like, does something happen when you become a mom, where like, or a dad, like where like you get like a download of like just like cool stuff that you know?
There was some stuff that I already knew, and then there was some stuff that, because I knew that was something I always wanted to be. But then there were other moments where I was sort of still connected to magic, childhood magic, and then it was the other thing was that it was a lot of thought. So I started thinking about it because it's like you think about
all
the world.
Of us with Gemini placements, I don't think we can get away from overthinking things.
No, you can't. You can't, right?
It's just the thing. I think air sign placements in general, to this mental state as well. So like it's and you can just be like there a lot.
Yeah, and I think who you are comes through. So I had this moment of magic, and I knew that I wanted whimsy to be in my kid's life, where I would come home from work and I won't do it because I don't. It's a thing. They still don't. They're grown and they don't know how I do it. I would come home, and after dinner I used to have my hair out because it's Aphrodite. I would pull out 2 Kinder eggs from my hair. And they would check my hair.
Oh, I love
They would do
that,
all of that, and they would do the whole thing, and they wouldn't figure out how I pulled out the Kinder eggs from my hair. And so that's something, but it was something that I always knew that I wanted, those kind of moments of magic and whimsy, and that was very much a part of that parental journey that I wanted. But it was something that I knew, and I think that's what happens. As soon as it happens,
as you said that, we need to do a show on movies that deal with magic, like The Prestige, for example.
Not seen.
David Bowie plays Tesla.
Oh, see, I saw Bowie.
The Prestige, yeah, and Christian Bale plays a twin, and Hugh Jackman's in it as well.
Oh, I remember when
The Prestige,
that came out maybe 2 or 3 years before he died.
Ooh, yeah, maybe.
I remember.
You guys, so Prestige or other magic movies, like Merlin with Sam Neill is not a movie, but it's like a TV series. But there's intel in there about real magic when you're talking about like fantastical magicians. Or what's that one with with Woody Harrelson and like the four magician magic guys.
Oh, I didn't see. But I did not see that.
It was not a bad movie.
I would talk about. I read the book. And I didn't see the movie because I don't think Jack Black played the character that I would want him. But A House with a Clock in Its Walls is all about magic.
I haven't heard of that movie.
Yes, but
Jack Black's in it.
Yes, it's based on a kid's book, and the kid's book was written in the '60s, and the book was illustrated by Edward Gorey. And then they just finally made it as a movie. And so there is this little boy's parents die in a car accident, and he has to go live with his Uncle Jonathan. And then while he's living in Uncle Jonathan's house, he starts hearing a clock ticking. And then he discovers that the person who lived there before was a warlock and was doing nefarious things and created a doomsday clock so that it was going to unleash evil once the clock. And then the whole thing is a race against time. And
Love it.
Great book, but Jack Black is not my Uncle Jonathan.
The Kinder in the hair is magical. I love that. I'm also Gemini. Oh, girl. No, I feel you for that. Gemini is like you're very. I say a big thing with air signs is like Libra and who's the other air sign besides Gemini? Who am I missing? Aquarius. That. It's almost like living in that mental state. You will have like run the same scenario through 8 times, and then you're like, oh, I did it. But like, wait, I got to do it in 3D world.
Yes. So I'm a Gemini rising, and it's the same thing.
And I'm a Gemini moon, so it's like it's just
it's there.
I
go through the scenario over, and sometimes it's like it keeps me awake, and then it's like just let it keep going, let it run, and then it will get to wherever it's supposed to get to without me controlling it, and then I will unwind and relax. But you can see the Gemini in the way I communicate and the talking and all the thoughts and all the things that just get dropped all the time. That I know that's a Gemini ADHD thing.
Hey, you know what though? Like that's why you have your Taurus moon, and that's why you're a Leo, to help like those fixed signs help to like ground the Gemini stuff. So I welcome all of you guys to look to where you can find power. Are we getting blurry? Oh, I guess we're a little bit.
Are we?
I feel like we are getting a little blurry. Anyways, I think that's a sign we're gonna log
the Kinder in the hair is magical.
It is magical.
Yes, it was
totally
one of those
magical.
things,
I love that you as a mom like did that, because it's like it's a beautiful thing to bring awe and like wonder to children in their lives and like their everyday lives, right? So thank you guys for joining us. Join us again next week. We're gonna do Halloween. We'll figure out what Joanne is going to be.
Yes, and then I don't know how you're gonna. Like I said,
give her a follow. Tiny Afrodite.
Or message me.
Yeah,
I'm on all the things.
All the things. Tiny Aphrodite and me, Rachel Z.
Afro with an F, not with the PH. And then let me know if you want a Barbie book or you want Lloyd Alexander.
We'll do a little like voting on like what
or Madeline Ongle.
Oh, people want to coordinate. They want to co-host. Next time, maybe we'll have some guests. We'll see. We're not there yet in terms of our production.
Yes.
But thank you guys for joining us. Until next time.
See you. Fresh. Bye. Thank you.
Oh, good. A wonderful show. Thanks, guys.
I really have